I am actually using the I can't legally put any more power. I will correct the frequency. Go around and circle without knocking it on the floor. That's a bit better. But you're a good signal, Mike. But nevertheless, as I say, conditions have been going up and down, and according to my list now, there's only the three of us. There's you, Mike, myself, and Martin, YJO, who I'll put it down to in a moment. And, well, just prior to you switching on then, I was using the ZC1. It is still switched on, but I don't think there's much point, Mike. I think this signal is down, and 1.5 to 2 weeks will certainly be down, but at least it has got out this morning. It was doing very well early on, got into the Netherlands without any problem, and the various people on the net at that time, but conditions have dropped somewhat, so there you go. Okay with the modulator, glad that's going well. As I was saying the other day, it would be really nice actually to try a solid state modulator like I use on the M54 on the Bendix. I'm sure it would work very well. It would certainly be a lot smaller, but because by the time you built the power supply, you'd have lost any advantage, because then size would go up somewhat, and the solid state modulator would need its own power supply, so I don't suppose you'd gain anything. Just an interesting thought. Round to you, Martin. G3YJR, M1PBC.
Yes, M1PBC, G3YJR. A little bit low on frequency again. I thought I'd try to tune netted on, but I don't think... I probably netted onto your frequency, Paul. Maybe that was it. Well, anyway, that'll have to do. Very good morning to Mike. Very nice signal, and all noted. And Paul, yes, on the ZC. Wow, sounding very good here. Sounded like it could do a little bit more mod, but otherwise it sounded very 19-set-ish, which is good. And well done in getting that up and running. And I'm sure Alan will be really pleased with it when it's in its final position. Well, I'm going to be catching the train off to the air show shortly. Curiously, there's one direct train which takes 8 minutes from here, which is very convenient. But after that, all the trains change, and it doesn't make an awful lot of difference, but they have to hang around at one of the stations, a stop or so in front, and so I thought, well, I'll try and get the earlier one, and then no doubt it's going to be busy getting in and everything, so leave plenty of time. Right, let me see anything else. I think that's about it. So I think I might try and get a quick injection of the elixir before I go, as the frog is lurking in the background, and the builders have turned up, so I need to just give them some instructions and make sure they're on track, and then disappear off. So with that, I'm going to put it onto Mike. And Mike, you were strength 8, and sounding reasonably good this morning, so that's good news. So G3MHX to take it, and Paul relay if he doesn't copy me. G3YJO signing, just listening for a bit of NQRT. Cheers.
73 Martin. Have a good day at Farnborough. Something my father-in-law used to have to do in similar industries. So hope that goes well. Round to you, Mike. G4EJM, M1PBC. Just thee and me, Mike.
Wrong switch. M1PBC, G4EJM. Wrong switch, Paul. Not awake yet. Yes, 73 Martin. Have a nice day. Sure you will. Be great there. And I think everybody else is gone anyway, haven't they now? So yeah, I've got some guys here laying a wooden floor at the minute. Paul, and I've got my sister's dog here, who is now barking his brains out at them through a closed door, you know. So I'm going to have to see to that anyway. Yeah, Canvas ZC1 there, Paul. Well, you're not too strong, but if you want to try it, I'll take a listen, you know. I think I heard you a few days ago, didn't I, last week sometime when you were tinkering about with it. I had one of those, you know, when I was about 16, 17, something like that. And it was in really good condition, very, very nice condition actually, and I modified the PA, trying to get more power out of it. I put an EL38 in the final, instead of the L6 or 6V6 or whatever's in there. And believe it or not, I had it stolen. We went out portable with it, and decided to camp out, and I took the thing home and just put it in my mother's garage, and the garage was never locked, you know. I just put it in there to save taking it in the house or in the shed, you know, and dumped it there, and when I came back a day later it had gone, so, you know, that was the end of that. I'd know it now if I ever saw it again. It's never turned up, you know, so. But it's had, I changed the PA to the L38 and stuff, you know, so, but it was alright actually, it wasn't bad, you know. I mean, a nice little self-contained set, you know, with 12 volts into the vibrator, and that was it, you know. So, a lot easier to get going than some of the other stuff was, you know. So, you know, that's the story of mine. You know, I've been thinking about a solid-state modulator, Paul, but as you say, it's the power supply that takes all the size up. Anyway, the modulator's nothing actually. I mean, my power. This is going to be about, well, I don't know how big it is even. Let's have a look. 6, 12. It's about 14 inches wide. I would say probably the same deep, Paul. It's going to be about 7 inches high, with everything in, and the valves are all mounted on a separate little panel, which is mounted vertically, so the valves are going to be horizontal, and that's all on a aluminium panel, which is about 6 inches by 5 inches, something like that, you know. So to the modulator, of course, the mod transformer takes up a lot of quite a bit of space, doesn't it? But I've got the solid-state modulator transformer, you know, out of the burn depth transmitter. I've got a couple of them, so it wouldn't be impossible to make a solid-state modulator for it very easily, you know. I mean, the transformer is designed for a single 4CX250B, so I'm sure that'd be alright for an 807 anyway. Impedance might be a bit wrong, but they work, don't they? So it's something I could try when I actually get it working, you know, and try, because I've got a 20 or 30 watt solid state amp, you know, that I could just feed into the mod tranny and put it into use with the HT when it's actually all wired up and working, you know. So anyway, it's making progress at the moment. All the transformers are all in place. Just one snag is that I'm using a UM1 mod transformer. I haven't got a UM2. I've got a UM3, but that's too big. And there's a big smoothing choke going in, and then the 24 volt transformer and the HT transformer is going to supply all the HTs, which is probably going to have a bit of an issue because it supplies the 250 volt HT for the VFO in the TA12 as well, you know. And I was going to switch the mains on it, but I'm not convinced that's going to be good to switching the HT off to the ODD12 SK7, so I'm not sure. It doesn't matter about switching it off on the modulator, of course, does it? You know, but on the VFO, on the TA12, then it might just be a bit of an issue with the stability, you know, the on-off stability of the VFO. If it is, I'll do what I normally do. I'll arrange some way of biasing the transmitter off in standby, you know. I've got your circuit here, by the way, Paul. That's very good. Nicely drawn, by the way. So well done on that one. Looks really good. And that's exactly what I'm going to do, Paul. Exactly. I shall use your circuit. That's exactly what I'll do. I'll copy it. So there we go. So that's what's happening. Right, back to you. Then I guess I better... Oh, it's only 8:30, isn't it? It's no point leaving this house until about 9 o'clock because the traffic is very busy on the main road that I have to go on, you know, and I end up in jams anyway, so I usually wait till after 9 before I disappear. But we're all ready to sort of shove off, you know. M1 PVC, G4 EJM, if I can find the right switch. This one here.
G4 EJM, M1 PVC, yes, okay, Mike. I'll try the ZC1 in a moment, but let's respond to your over for the most of it on the LG300 so that you can hear me. Yeah, a couple of points there, Mike. Firstly, as I say, I've been on the modulator power supply route a couple of times now, and I think that to make life easy, you need about as much room as you've got on the Bendix transmitter itself. So if you've got a similar volume to the Bendix TF, there is a mistake on that circuit diagram, as I pointed out, when it goes, because you won't energise the relay the way it's drawn. Relay is grounded and not taken to the plus 24. Switching the HT on the Bendix transmitter is no problems for the stability. I've not had any problem, Annie's not had any problem, Les is not getting any problem, and the original worked that way anyway. What the heck, you know, the dynamo to produce the HT to the VFO as well as the PA, and it was only brought in when you pushed the PTT switch, so you won't have any problems with stability there. In fact, the stability of the circuit is excellent. The heaters are on all the time anyway, so they obviously keep the compartment warm, and the HT being switched on and off to the VFO certainly doesn't alter its stability. So I think that's the main points there, Mike. And well, as I say, it works very well. I use that circuit for mine. With Les's, there's a different modulator circuit I use, which follows the good old hi-fi setup, whereby I use a double triode, and one of the triodes forms a phase splitter, so it doesn't have the driver transformer. And if you've got the driver transformer, fine. The one I used was out of a DX100. The one that's shown on the circuit diagram, the Hammond transformer can be bought from Hammond direct for blazing stock, but it cost about 30 quid, and I'm sure a man like you who's got plenty in the junk box anyway, or will opt for the electronic phase splitting without the transformer. So there you go. Let's try the ZC1. Just take me a very short time to change over and see if you can pick it up. So, switching over to ZC1 now. Right, back again. Back to you, Mike. G4 EJM M1 PVC.
Well, I didn't pick a good time to try it, Paul. It was detectable with the BFO in. But your signal's varying between an S4 or 3, something like that. And it's very slow, the QSB, and you pick the time when you were down. So I don't know. Radar conditions are a bit better, but I could hear the carrier, Paul, which was FM in a bit, by the way, when you were speaking. But I won't worry about that. I'm sure when conditions are better, I'll hear you. You know. Yeah, I found an audio driver transformer in the junk boxes, and I don't know what it's out of. It's an aluminium enclosure, and it's got a high impedance primary and a centre tap secondary with quite low resistance, so I'm hoping that'll be okay. If not, I'll have to do something else about it, but I'm pretty sure it'll be alright, you know. So we'll see. Anyway, that's mounted on the little board, and it's not a board, it's a little aluminium panel. So I'm up to my knees in aluminium shavings at the fairport. It's amazing how many holes you have to cut, isn't it? How many holes you have to drill. So I think I've thought of pretty well most things on it now, you know, and most of the sort of holes are cut and whatever. So it won't be long before I'm wired up. No, it's a separate heater transformer. I found it quite a small, actually, 6.30, 6.3 centre taps, you know, 6 amp transformer, quite small. Quite it's an old one, very old. But I've tried it and it seemed to be working okay. So that's what I'm going to be using for the heaters. I guess they only take about 4 amps, so it should be well underrated at that, really. And the HD transformer I've found is 4750-475, which has got taps at 240, 0240, all the same windings. Then there's a separate 70 volt winding, which is through for the bias nicely, thank you. So that should be okay. Excuse me. I need to wire up a frog switch like you on my microphone here, Paul. Well, this mic's a very, very old D104 hand mic, and I don't want to drill any holes in it or anything, so it actually hasn't got the D104 insert in it. It's got the large sort of ACOS crystal insert, you know. Incidentally, I did get in touch with a static a few years ago and pleaded with them to send me one, because Alan managed to get one out of them. They wouldn't do it. They just send it back, so send it to us and we'll refurbish it, and then it's so much, you know. I wouldn't fancy landing it out of my hands, really. Sending it to America, it was going to be expensive anyway. But it's even more expensive now, postage to America, backwards and forwards has gone up an awful lot, hasn't it? So, no frog switch on the mic, I'm afraid. Yeah, what else? We say the valves are going to be mounted horizontally to save some sort of headroom, you know. I haven't got a cabinet for it, so I've made up a chassis with a bottom panel and then side panels and a back panel and a front panel, you know, so I won't go with some kind of pull over the top of it, possibly in a mesh. But as the transformers are so heavy, it's not sort of like the normal chassis format, you know, where you've got a gap underneath it. It's just a flat plate with everything mounted on there. And I've got a piece of PCB board which I'll glue all the caps on, all the smoothing caps and whatever, you know. Okay, on the wall by the way, so what I'm saying is the relay is switched to the negative, is that what you're saying, Paul? So the relay connects to ground rather than to the positive supply. Well, I can see that. Easy enough, Paul. Fair enough. Nice drawing, by the way. I wish I could draw like that. My hands are not steady enough to draw like that, you know. It's really good, that, but I guess that was part of your profession, really, Paul. Just looking at the circuit for the valves. Yeah. Yeah, looks pretty good, actually, that, Paul. Very nice. Yeah. And I see you used the UM1 anyway, didn't you? Yeah, and because I would have been a bit reluctant to do that, but I think they're going to be well underrated, those UM1 transformers. Really heavy, aren't they? They're lots inside the box, you know, but if you're getting away with 50 watts for this, sure I will, you know. I've actually got another UM1 as well. So, and I've got a UM3, but they're quite big they are, aren't they? And I actually, what else I've got? Got actually the mod transformer for a DX100 I bought in a rally some years ago. And that's quite a small thing, it's not very heavy at all, you know. And that handles 100 watts, so, you know, there we go. Oh, 100 watts of RF anyway. Alright, Paul, back to you and then better get off and time is it now? It's 1:45. Sort things out here, I guess, you know. M1 PVC, G4EJM.
G4EJM, M1 PVC. Okay, I'll make this a final and let you tie the ribbons on the next one down. You just switch the scope sensitivity back. Oh yeah, I use the scope here for marking the signal out, and of course when I use the ZC1 I have to increase the sensitivity somewhat, but there you go. I'm not surprised that the ZC1 didn't work. It was worth trying because I was getting you about 10 over at the time, but as you say, propagation is a bit fickle today, so we'll try that another day. And well, of course, the requirement on the mod as far as power levels go, the Bendix is 60 watts. We get output here, so 30 watts of audio is all you require, and the UM1 is rated at 30 watts anyway. Similarly on the DX100 it's only requiring 50 watts of audio, so it's not a really chunky piece of iron. And they seem to be business as well. Like you, I've got a spare. In fact, I've got a complete set of iron for the DX100 because I started off with 12 and I stripped them both and I built one, so I've still got the iron from the original one. But it's the old story. If you've got a spare, you'll never need it. If you haven't got a spare, it'll blow up 5 minutes afterwards, so to speak. So certainly the UM1 is quite sufficient. I'm using a UM2 on this transmitter, the LG 300, and that's quite capable of producing enough audio. In fact, I think a UM2 is rated at about 120 watts from memory, and the UM3 must be even more than that. I do have a UM3 in the store, which came out of a female's auction, and I haven't used it yet. But as you say, it's a big chunk of iron. So So there you go. And I think that all those Woden transformers were very conservatively rated. Having said that, I know of some Welsh radio amateurs that have successfully managed to blow up UM3s, and I did read a suggestion somewhere on the internet that the UM3 was probably the, what should we say, the most dicey one of the set, whereby if you're going to drive it up to its maximum, then you could get troubles, but a UM1 will do you fine. It works for me, it works for Andy. Les has got a different one. He's got a piece of iron that came from a US Navy rig of some description, rated at about 100 watts of audio, so he's got one that's belt and braces in there without taps, so luckily it did have a good impedance matching. The impedance tips that I showed there, actually if you read the sheet, they're not actually the optimum, but I've found in practice they are the optimum, so there you go, that's where the theory doesn't bear out the practice, Mike. So if you use those, you'll get on fine, I'm sure. So, well, I'll watch this space, Mike. Better let you get away. Good to speak to you. And, well, okay on the other pieces of iron that you've got there. All sounds excellent. And, well, as part of my professional exams, yes, I did have to do a drawing exam, which is building construction, where you have to, well, take over from the architect and draw some constructional plans. So, yes, I have done it, but I didn't need to do it in the case of my job, although I did finish up with a rather nice parallel action drawing board from an architect that went defunct, and I must admit I drew up all the plans for my house extension, but that's another story, Mike. Anyway, back to you to tie the ribbons, and have a great day. G4EJM, M1PBC, signing but listening for your over, Mike, and as I say, have a great day.
Yeah, good copy, Paul, good copy. G4EJM returning. Yeah, it's fitting it in, and the donkey work's virtually done really now, which is sort of everything in the box, you know. The wiring up's quite easy really, isn't it, you know. But anyway, we're winning with it. I'm not sure how when it'll be done, but it's a sort of, once the donkey work's done, then they sort of rapidly progress, don't they? Anyway, I've got to take the front panel off. I've got all the holes drilled in it now. I've got to take the front panel off and rub it down. It's an old piece of aluminium and it's got lots of scratches on it, you know, so I'll have to sand that off a bit and try and make it look a little bit better than it does, you know. I'm not sure whether to paint it or not. We'll see. I probably will. Okay, thanks for the info, Paul, and thanks again for sending that on the email. I've decided I'd try and part with a few bits of my stuff here as well. You know, the big things. I've got my big Raycall transmitter, you know, TTA 1885, and I've got it in the van from work. So the room's empty at work now. Well, there's still some stuff in another room, but that I've got to bring home. But my garage is full. So the transmitter's still in the van at the minute. Anyway, in a weak moment last night, I thought I'd bite the bullet and put this on the reflector thing, you know, the new one, and see if I could make it work, and it did. And I've had a couple of calls on it already. But I'm a bit reluctant to part with it, you know, because it's in really nice nick, you know, and it's a lovely big piece of equipment, you know. It's big and heavy, of course, you know, but anyway, I'll see what happens. Maybe it won't go, maybe I'll be able to keep it there, won't I? I'll have to find somewhere to put it. It certainly isn't coming upstairs in the shack. I think I've got more than enough weight up here at the moment. Okie doke. 7-3 Sport, thanks for that, and see you around. G40J, I'm off and clear with M1 PVC and closing down. 7-3s.
Yeah, cheers and beers, Mike. Yes, I did see the posting. I wasn't tempted. That's too big and heavy for me, but I'm sure there'll be a fair bit of interest on that. But as you say, one doesn't like to get rid of one's goodies. Have a great day. M1 PVC, now gone.